My name's R. Crosby Lyles, and this is News from the Can. This is a follow-up to my last video that I did about alternatives for masks if you don't have any. I just heard, as a nurse, I'm not sure what section that she's working in, who was told, here's your mask, that one mask that you have, don't lose it. And that's for an undetermined period of time. And this is a chance teaching hospital. So my best information is that as far as this is a tertiary hospital in Florida. So Shands gets the most critical care patients from probably all over the state, frankly. It's a tertiary hospital. And they're being told, at least one nurse that I know of, don't know about the whole place, one nurse that I know of is being told, make this one mask last you. Well, these obviously are unusual circumstances. But I want to talk about the bag idea that I had. Now, obviously, the bag idea, you're not going to just want to go snatch a bag out of the garbage because you don't know where it's been. You don't know, you know what I mean? You got something that even you used. You know, we use this bag today, and it has liquid from something on it. Bad candidate, unless I'm going to take this, and something that's good to have around the house is a bucket half filled with water that's got maybe a half a cup of bleach in it. So this, you would probably want to douse this in some bleach and hang it up and let it dry. You know, I can't idiot-proof the world. The thing with shopping bags, it's a shopping bag. You never know what kind of schmutz is going to be on it. So you're going to want to like wash it some kind of way before you put it around your face. I just wanted to throw that out there. But it did seal pretty well. That I know it looks funky. And the one concern that I have about that, let me show you again what I did. You're going to have to be smart about this. You know, we're not talking about putting this on a child's face. It's plastic, okay? We're talking about a full-grown adult here that can think for themselves and is not going to do dumb stuff. I can't idiot-proof everything out there. It's just a concept. Take it or leave it. You know, a bandana around your face is all well and good, but bandana material, unless it's doubled up or tripled up or whatever, may not necessarily be vapor proof. You know, it's better than nothing. The shit is airborne. The virus is airborne, and somebody told me this is, you know, third person anecdotal shit. Take it with a grain of salt. Person told me that. See, there's this right here. That's one of the things I like about this, is you got that seal right there. Again, sterilize the bag. Boil it in water. Dunk it in some Clorox. The only problem with Clorox is that you're going to be breathing it. Breathing sodium hypochlorite fumes for a long period of time can give you COPD. So, you know, how long this thing is going to last for, no, I don't know. It's going to come in waves, and probably more than one. So again, you put the material up there, wedge it in over your nose, and this is so that the plastic doesn't collapse around your nose and mouth, and tuck it into your shirt. You're going to have to be able to tuck it some kind of way. That works pretty good too. So you can combine the two things. And this is for, you know, this is like doomsday shit. This is your last option. Using some bullshit like this is your last option. This is last ditch shit. Seems to work pretty well to me. Obviously. So here's the problem with this. Taking it off is the problem. Because if you're trying to keep droplets, you're trying to keep from breathing in droplets, but you also want to keep droplets from hitting your eyeballs, because you're going to get infected with droplets hit your eyeballs. A lot of people are going to be wearing eye protection, which is necessary. So taking this thing off is, you're going to have to be careful. You're going to have to think about this. You could slip some scissors in here in the side and the back without cutting your ear, and just cut it off and let it fall away. Either that, or you're going to have to, like, very carefully, I don't know if you're probably going to want to take your gloves off first. See, this is another thing. You're going to stick your hands in here by your face. So you're probably going to pull your gloves off first and pull this out. Or reach back here. Now I think you're going to have to go this way. Put your fingers inside here like this. Pull it out carefully pull it out away from your face. And then stretch it out, break it off. Because it'll snap. The material will snap. You don't want to you don't just really want to, like, willy-nilly. You got to be careful taking the thing off. That's why any of these ideas, you want a round table, you want to talk to somebody who's a professional, you want to talk to people, you want to talk it over with other people. This is do-it-yourself horseshit here. So this is not, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about this shit. These are just ideas that I'm throwing out there. I'm a muse. You know, this shit's going to be hit in Africa. Some of the biggest cities in the world, some of the most tightly packed, biggest cities in the world are in Africa. And if this thing apparently is airborne and stays live in the airborne state for several hours, this is what I've heard recently. That's bad news for Africa. So in Africa, something like this, you know, for average folks, might be something to try in some iteration or another. The other thing is that, you know, children can, and people who are not necessarily all that with it, you know, you can suffocate with a plastic around your face. That's why you have to use a material. You use it in conjunction with the material, so that so it doesn't, you know, because you don't want to have to touch it. So when you put a bandana, what you're using this for is you're using this as an outer layer when you have a material, when you're using a material, whether it's a bandana or something like that, to cover your face, and somehow or another were to just lay this over it to keep particles from landing on the material. It's just another layer, but you have to allow air to escape from the side. You know, it's just it's an idea to cut down on vapor transmission. That's what it's for. But obviously, this is a lot of idiot stuff. You know, these are just ideas. We're just spitballing. I'm not telling anybody to do this. You're obviously going to have to do your own DIY engineering. These are just ideas on how to, you know, survive. Just to keep particles from hitting anywhere near your face. Sooner or later, you're going to get COVID. It's just going to happen. It's airborne. But if you can keep yourself from getting sick long enough for the big wave to come through, and thing too is, you know, there's probably going to be more than one wave that's going to come through. They're going to, you know, this is going to go in waves back and forth across the country, until they get some kind of vaccine. There's a company called Nanotherapeutics in Alachua, Florida. I just drove by there recently. There are cars in the parking lot. It's still there, and the security is up and running. I can't show it to you on a map for obvious reasons. You know, this is a Department of Defense installation. It is there for the express purpose of heading off a biological Pearl Harbor. That's what it's there for. That's what it was designed for. It's a $135 million building that was just completed in 2016. They had the biggest heads in the government there. So This was the answer to the Ebola outbreak, if anybody remembers this, where they had a problem where there were people catching Ebola person to person in America and winding up in the emergency room, and they were having a problem getting rid of the biologically tainted material. So they didn't know what to do with it, because you just can't, you can't burn it. It has to be dealt with in particular kinds of ways. Basically, you have to put it through an autoclave, essentially. So, but in this particular case, it's airborne. So that's totally, you just want to keep from getting sick until after the crest of the wave passes. That's all you're really trying to do. The efficacy of these ideas that I've had on the previous video are unproven, and that's why it says in the description that these are just ideas that should be discussed thoroughly amongst professionals who know what actually works and what actually doesn't. You're not going to implement this shit without really talking about it. Having said that, some other ideas: cling wrap, instead of trying to use something from plastic bag material, because plastic bags can be tainted unless you're going to hit them with bleach or something, or put them under a UVC light or something like that to sterilize that material, or douse it and boil. You can boil them. You can boil plastic bags in water. You don't even have to have anything else. My wife liked some of these ideas, thought they might be able to work. Just trying this now, see how this works. And the reason I like this idea is because all you need is a stapler. You don't have to do any sewing. You staple the shit together. I'm not wearing gloves. You probably want to be wearing gloves. So this is a piece of cellophane that's on the outside. Again, all this is for, I kind of got it backwards because I've got the, so basically you just take this mask here and see the staple there, and just staple a piece of cellophane from a roll, and that way it's clean. Cellophane, just pull it out, put it right on top of that, or alternatively you could use wax paper. Pull it out, staple it right over the top, because I tried folding it and in there and stuff, doesn't really work. This, obviously you wear glasses. So that's not too bad. You get a little bit of leakage around the eyes. It's not an N95. Again, you can't smell anything because it seals totally. Now, this rinky-dink thing here is not going to seal that well. So, these are stopgap measures. This is if you ain't got shit, but you need something, and because this situation might get way fucked up. Just saying. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I don't do fear porn. I don't peddle fear. I don't believe in it. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. You got to do what you got to do. Strap material, just cut some sheets or whatever, shoelaces. You can use straps off of an old mask. That's one thing that can be recycled for sure without being problematic necessarily, or these straps right here. So, a suggestion, if you have old masks, instead of throwing the whole thing away, try to pull that strap out of there and reuse the strap. If you have to, save the straps, because you might need them. That's in closing. They refer to people on YouTube as influencers. I am not an influencer. I don't like that terminology. I started watching Newsy on cable TV. It's pretty good. There's supposedly what their motto is: don't be influenced, be informed, not influenced. I like that. I'm not necessarily a great informer either, because I don't have the time to really delve in and do the research. A lot of research has to be done in order for you to get the right kind of information. And really, in order to get a real actual story, a lot of times you got to be a little bit of a shitbag, frankly. You got to stab somebody in the back, and I'm not really down with that either. So what I am is I'm a muse. Other than just have my ideas just go up in smoke, I put them online so maybe somebody can get an idea and might be helpful to somebody. But I'm a muse. Amusement, I'm a muse. So I like to be informative, but I'm not an influencer. I'm a convicted felon. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that is. You're a convicted felon, like you're almost damn near a second class. Well, yeah, pretty much a second class citizen in a lot of ways. A lot of shit you can't do. So that's how that is. But clean house, trust God, help others. That's what you got to do. Suit up, show up. I love you guys because, love is really the answer. It really is. Can't do nothing with hate. I want to caution folks out there on the left. There's a lot of shit to be angry about, but I caution that harping on too much on the past in the wrong kind of ways and delving a little bit too much into hate, it's not helpful. It's not helpful to your cause. Hate ain't going to get you nowhere. You're not going to get to the promised land with hate. There ain't no good guys. There ain't no bad guys. There's only you and me, and we just disagree. That's it. My name is R. Crosby Lyles. Keep the faith. Y'all be good. Take care. That's it. See you. Bye.